have a seat. We're missing a couple people.
Yes.
Unable to be here? Is she bringing enough for everybody? Please have a seat. Yeah, that's true.
She just said Malcolm's not coming. I think she just said Malcolm's not coming, which is...
Okay. Now, I was asking before you arrived who saw the movie, and most of the audience has saw the movie and really, really liked it. So do you want to start talking about the movie, how you guys got involved?
I want to see a show of hands first. All right. Wow.
That's what most of the audience did. I think that may need to be turned on.
Hello.
No, there it is. It's working. Good. So you want to go ahead and start? How did you get involved? I'm assuming you from Lords of Salem, and then...
Yeah, Rob Zombie, if you get on with Rob, and he gets on with you, he likes to keep his same group around him. It makes him comfortable. So I did the first Lords of Salem, which I did audition for. And then the second one, he actually wrote the roles Malcolm of myself. And it's always good working with him. He keeps a really cool, happy set. And from my point of view, I wouldn't get to play a character like this or dress up like this in any other kind of film. So I'm very happy to be working with him.
That's cool. Go ahead.
I had not worked with Rob before 31, but the casting director who cast the movie had cast me in a couple of films before, and so she recommended me to Rob for the role, and I think he had seen me in some things in Breaking Bad, and so kind of knew who I was, and that was that. So then I got to be a clown with a chainsaw, which is a dream come true for anyone, I think, right?
Well, yeah. Especially the chainsaw part.
I didn't. Just hit me that you were a spooge in Breaking Bad.
Meg Foster's here.
Oh, wow.
Yay!
Insanity. Wow. Wait, when you said it. That's awesome.
There or there, either which one makes you feel comfortable. Some people don't like sitting next to me. For obvious reasons.
No, it's the microphone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do we need another microphone for me? No.
I think that's, we're right at our limit on microphone. Sorry about that. So we were asking, and if you want to go ahead, of how you got involved with 31.
I had an audition.
Yeah, that was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
How I got it, I got a call, and I had some, my manager submitted me and said, you're going in for a movie, here's the sides, do what you can do with them. And when I went into the audition room, the lady was just like, do you have any questions? I said, no, let's attack this. And then she said, I could just want to recommend one thing, don't scream the whole time and run around. And so I said, okay, that means probably everyone was screaming and running around, so I won't do that. And I ended up getting the role. And that's how I started working with Rob.
Poncho spends most of his time screaming and running around, so that was a big change.
Meg,
Oh, yes.
how you got involved in 31? Once again, I'm assuming if that microphone's not working, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi.
I was invited.
So just from Lords of Salem, were you? Yeah.
No, Rob said, would I like to film? And I said yes.
Okay.
Because I worked with him, Judy and I had on a film called Lords of Salem, and I knew that Judith was going to be there, and so yeah, I showed up.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with our questions. Who has a question? Come on, don't be shy. Are you serious? Last night we had 2 questions. Right over here. Oh, we've got one here, and then we'll go over there.
So yeah, I just had a question for the entire cast. Is could you walk us through like what Rob Zombie's leadership style when you're on set? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? How does he get a performance out of you? Does he let you kind of build the character on your own? Does he like give you like really concrete guidance. So could you just kind of walk us through like the methodology on that a little bit?
Shall I go first here?
Yes, absolutely.
In my experience, once Rob's cast you, it's really down to you. He doesn't really give you, or didn't give me, specific direction. What he does really well is he really enjoys you, which makes you feel good. And he keeps a really happy, easygoing set. And basically, I think what happens is, it always happens on a film, is you become a little unit. You know, you're working together to pull something off. And in my experience, Rob just becomes a great audience. You do a take, and when he loves it, he loves it. He also has his own crew behind the camera. And he is a wonderful operator called Dave. And if he likes a shot, I did a scene in Lords of Salem where I had to say some pretty wild stuff. And when it came to the end, Dave just went, yeah! And that's the atmosphere. And so you feel good working there.
I want to hear Poncho's answer.
Well, when I got the part, I auditioned for it, and I got the part, and then we went and did a light test, camera test and stuff before we shot the movie, and that's when I found out that I was playing a Nazi Hitler clown. And then, so that was kind of interesting. Rob was really stoked on it. And, you know, I thought, you know, I'm not a Nazi by no means, but if I get the opportunity to play a killer, what an opportunity to play one of the most infamous killers of all time. And then he said, I want you to speak Spanish in it. And I tried to make sense of that. And then I started doing a little research, and what I found out was a lot of the Nazis that didn't die in World War II, a lot of them migrated to South America. So,
Yeah.
Argentina, Colombia, Brazil. And in most of those countries, they speak Spanish. I am originally from Santiago, Chile, so it made more sense to me for this part. And it just gave me a lot to work with, rather than thinking in my head that this doesn't make sense to me. So that's how I attacked it. And for the lighting test, Rob was just like, I want you to do all your dialogue in Spanish. Do you remember it from the audition? I said, no. But at the same time, no one is going to understand what I'm saying anyway. So let's just do it. And so I did, and I've never seen someone be so happy about something. Come up to me and say, listen, we're changing all your dialogue to Spanish. It's just something very creepy about someone that wants to kill you, and you don't know what the hell they're saying. And then I said, Rob, are you going to put subtitles on it? And he said, no. There we go. That's how sick that came about.
So, Pancho, did you, in a sense, write your own role?
I still try to keep the same dialogue, but sometimes English doesn't transition to Spanish the same way, so you got to improvise.
So you could have got a credit, really.
Yeah, I guess so. I try to go in and out of it, so it made sense to me. It made sense to Rob. And working with Rob, he is a true professional at his craft. He trusts his actors, and you just got to trust him to take you on this journey and this vision that he has. And you know, at the end of the day, it's either going to work or it's not. And it's Rob's vision, and it's what he does for his fans and for himself. So.
And what's cool is he looks at the skill set of the actor, like Pancho can speak Spanish. So he's like, well, we got to use that. I speak Japanese, and he almost always, when I get a job, the directors that you work with rarely have time to like really research you outside of what you're going to be doing in their movie. You audition, they look at your audition, and they're like, okay, yes, he's right. But Rob like knew when I met him the first time. He was like, oh, you do stand-up? I saw your stand-up. I know that you speak Japanese. Like, he had looked me up and watched some of my stuff, and he was like, I wonder if there's a way we can use the Japanese in this. So we ended up shooting a scene where my character like sings a song in Japanese. It didn't make it into the cut, but it still informed what I was doing with the character. And there are some, I think there's like one word of Japanese that I say that's still in there, but you wouldn't really notice it. It's when I'm being killed. But that's what I thought was really great about working with Rob, was that he looks at each actor's unique skill and tries to figure out how he can use that in his film. And then, as Judy said, as far as your performance, he kind of lets the actor play and figure out, do their own thing, but he gives you that kind of guidance beforehand.
Encouragement, really.
Yeah.
Meg? Yeah.
Rob is, everything about him is an energy, and it's specifically him. And it's one of the most extraordinary experiences working with him for all these reasons. There's it's a labyrinth of him. We all he does trust us implicitly, but as you know, he grabs things and brings things out that I have never experienced that specific way in which it happens, because everything about him is an artist. He writes it. He does the costumes. He does the casting. He looks for very specific things within each character, and in some way, what I feel when I have worked with him is that I feel found. And something about that is it's very innocent, and it's absolutely thrilling. And so, I mean, literally, he's a master at what he does, and he's incredibly humble. And he's an artist, and he's a writer, and he does the wardrobe, and he always knows about the makeup, and he creates costumes, he creates what you're wearing. It's extraordinary. He has everything is a color to him. And I don't know, the first day that we all worked together was extraordinary, because we worked in all the 5 carnies were there, and Judith, and Malcolm, and Pancho, and Jane. And it was extraordinary because it was where, I don't know if have you all seen the film? Has anybody seen it?
Most of the audience.
Oh, right, great. It's when we were hanging from the chain.
Hanging around, they were.
What?
You were hanging around there.
We were hanging around.
Oh my God.
But it's extraordinary sometimes how everything changes like that. You go through the hair, you go through the wardrobe, you're being checked out, you know what your lines are, and all of a sudden, and I hadn't met Pancho, and all of a sudden, here comes Pancho through this door, and everything changes, and it's all about 31, and all of a sudden, here comes Judith, and I hadn't seen her, and she's all in white, and it was, I didn't know where I was. I mean, like that. And that Rob did all of this, and his extraordinary crew. I mean, they're just such wonderful people. You become a family, and then all of a sudden something turns. And there we all were hanging by chains. I didn't know what he was saying to me. You called me an old... An old whore. had to ask what he said.
Tired boy.
Or tired whore. But it's really like going down the rabbit hole. And it's absolutely thrilling and very frightening, but extraordinarily freeing.
Did you do a trigger warning before we started the?
No, no.
What?
Next question, please.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really tired. I'm sure you guys are too. Cool. So Rob obviously is known for writing and directing each one of his films. He writes every one of them. Sans, the trailer for Werewolf Woman of the SS and Grindhouse. This is the most extreme thing that he's written since The Devil's Rejects. Can you guys talk about your reaction when you first read the script and, some of the more extreme things in the film?
It's, as you know, it's a bloodthirsty